So, let's get in the sun out of here a little bit. It's still peeking through. Okay. Well, I know I'm going to pay for this because I've already done a 30-minute bioenergetic bodywork session and a 20-minute workout today with neurogenic tremors session. So, but I wanted to try an experiment of invoking neurogenic tremors using my own exercises, which is a combination of classic bioenergetic and calisthenics and yoga stuff, which is basically what Dr. Berselli stole from, but I'm just going to kind of use the more original, harder versions of the exercises. So hopefully it'll be something you could do without needing a certification for. And if anybody wants to, it can show people what neurogenic tremors look like. So let's see. So I begin, I'm not exactly narrating this for others, I'm kind of for myself. So if you're gonna watch this, just I might be talking to myself more than talking to an audience. So because again, this is more my experiment. But so I'm just gonna start out warming up joints, you know, the whole deal. Because I'm gonna be doing some calisthenics. To do this, you need to fatigue your lower muscles and stretch your psoas just right, and nothing's better at stretching the psoas than yoga poses. Although I've never got much out of yoga myself, the poses are superb for inducing fatigue of the psoas. Probably because yoga comes from the popular physical yoga poses come from more Kundalini-based Tantra approaches and all that, which is all about awakening Shakti from the lower spine to meet Shiva, the head, and they meet in divine union and stuff, and two deities have sex and you're enlightened kind of deal. Let's see. Actually, there are interesting correlates in the West, but I won't get intellectual. So just hips. Alright, so next step is to you can see here. Zoom out, but okay. So first I'm going to start. So the original way to do it is to kind of do the hold, like you're on the edge of both feet, hold. But all this is a simplified version for the less athletically inclined of the going to one side, like this. So you can do the yoga thing, you can't see your arms up in the air, but I'm going to hold this for a minute. Not literally a minute, but maybe 10 to 20 seconds-ish per side. Side. You're stretching the groin, stretching the pelvis, and you're holding a lateral lunge, thus fatiguing the leg, the lateral quads or whatever. Other side. And I've already fatigued myself from all what I've done earlier today, so this won't be too difficult. I won't do it as long as I probably really would. So hold. Each exercise has got to kind of suck. That's how you know you fatigue the muscles enough. This is not a hard workout, but it does end up being somewhat of a workout, but it's worth it because you literally release tensions starting from the psoas, which literally holds the fear response in the body. And letting go of that lets go of an autonomic response that literally releases stored tensions, literally releases what has been stored through our whole life of conditioning of being stressed, traumatized, scared, fearful, all of that. So what I'm going to do, what I want to do next is a forward lunge. Kind of they do some yoga. You're stretched wide. You just hold the lunge. You're fatiguing the quads. You're fatiguing the hamstrings a bit. Oh yeah. The calves, and you're stretching the pelvis. Over to the side. Get some rotation of have the legs and the pelvis rotate, thus fatiguing what rotates you. Hold it. Ooh, I'm already starting to vibrate here a little bit, more from fatigue. I mean, when I first learned of this from bioenergetics, I thought it was crap. I was like, you're just vibrating because you're fatigued, and then you're interpreting it in some mystical, deep way of these tension energy releases and stuff. Well, now that I learned about the neurogenic response and how that is empirical, is used in some of the more popular trauma therapies, it's pretty interesting. They accidentally, bioenergetics stumbled upon something but didn't know what it was, interpreted it more in an energetic way. Okay, next step is to fatigue the lower legs, which is more when you start out with the calves. There's many ways to do it. I like to do the bioenergetic thing where you first start out jumping, but without your knees pushing. Your knees stay in place. It's all your calves. Your calves try to push your toes up until you jump off the ground. Just keep doing that until your calves start to get a little burn in them. Okay. Then I'm going to do a few some calf raises on the stairs. Maybe like 10 each side. I like to hold a little bit and let it down slowly. You want to burn. Come on, fatigue, come on there. Need some weight. There we go. Then you shake out. Alright. The standard way to do it is to be on the ground. Perfect. The standard way to do it is to, again, this is less athletically inclined, have one leg up and do these like half one-legged squats, but I feel like I can do this a little more challenging way, fatigue quicker. For one, I can do some pistol squats, which is just lateral. But you're already somewhat fatigued. Lower squats, a little jump. Oh yeah, quads, deep squats. Which I believe innovates the, oh yeah. And maybe some one-legged squats. Like I'm also thinking like Bulgarian split squats would work really too, because they're a few steps before a one-legged squat. So whatever fatigues the quads, just enough. So I'm going to do, this is not a, you can see how bad my form is for that. Oh yeah, I'm just, yeah, my legs are done, but my job is mostly sitting and driving, so this makes up for it. Okay. Next step is, alright. The next section, I like to do the bioenergetic lean forward and back. I'm just going to play with it's called the bow or the arch and the forward bend and maybe the downward dog and upward looking dog, because those are just ways to bend forward and back. So first off, I'm going to put my fist behind the very highest part of my sacrum. I don't like it on my lower back because it feels like I'm hyper, feels like it's hurt my lower back. So just below, just on the top of my sacrum here. So bend back, spine not up, but head looking kind of forward and jaw open, like so. I'm like feet slightly in. You kind of make a sigh when you breathe out. Maybe 3 or 4 breaths are good. Then the standard forward bend, which, let's see, which is slow bend forward, weight on the balls of the feet. Your hands are down on the ground just for the slightest bit of balance, but you're almost completely on the balls of your feet. And you press up a bit, so there's a bit of a stretch in your hamstrings going up, whatever those tendons are. Breathe the same way, head loose. Downward dog, just for the hell of it. Downward upward looking dog. This is funny because I'm not a yoga person. I've always identified against yoga. Oh, yoga, that's that watered down stuff for women in gyms and yada yada. For these purposes, yoga is fantastic. So for these purposes, not for things yoga and biogenetics don't know to. They haven't figured out to emphasize neurogenic tremors. A lot of them induce them by accident. All these bodywork stuff and stuff, but they don't know to emphasize it. Let it go. I'm no yoga expert, but something like this. 3 breaths. Okay, down to the pelvis. Doing the lunge again, but I'm twisting. That kind of stuff. Nah, how about just this one? I think it's called triangle twists. Well, first, hang down, between legs. Alright, instead of walking over like this, I'm going to do the triangle twists like a yoga. That's it until the beautiful wall squats. These are awesome. I gotta shake this out. Where's it? Shake out the legs. Wall squats. You are doing an isometric squat against the wall. Like this. start deep. Your legs, your tibia and fibula, your feet should be farther out than your knees. Your knees, they should not be in, they should be more out. So you're pushing up towards the wall. And your knees shouldn't hurt your knees too much. Pushing up, and you might feel some shaking. You're just gonna burn. And the way what to do is when it gets too hard, you move up a few inches. And you just keep doing that, hold until it starts to hurt, shake, and move up a few more inches. This is what they do in bioenergetics. Completely stolen by Dr. Berselli. Or ingeniously integrated, I don't know. And you hold for like 3 to 6 minutes, wherever long you can. Not however long you can, but until you're fatigued. I'm probably not doing nearly that long because I did squats today. A little bit. A little bit better. Deep breaths with an outward exhale of a sigh. Let your out breath happen to control it. But you keep doing that breath. You don't stop and take normal breaths. You just keep doing these deep breaths because that charges your body. It causes a deep respiratory wave. It seems to get past cortical control of the reflex. It's like how we can hold back vomiting as long until you absolutely have to. Yawning, laughter, orgasm, sleep. How many automatic functions do we human beings can keep in a tight fist of control at all times? The organism knows how to regulate itself. More than about 15 minutes. Everything out here. And next step is it will basically be the bridge pose. Alright, so one, I got my little pillowy thing here. But I want you to see my lower legs more. Put my feet together. Not too far in, just in the middle, but a little bit in, because later you might go out. It's like a modified bridge. This is what they do in bioenergetics again. So, basically bridge pose. You gotta relax your knees, let them hang open. And this, you see the shaking here? That is involuntary. For the most part, yeah. It's actually weird. The more I tighten my legs in, the less it shakes. The more I let them ping, the more it wants to do this, this quivering. And it's held about a minute. I don't know if it'll do it that long. I'm already really, eyes are really fatigued. I'm gonna pay for this. But I can't pass up a nice experiment. Oh wow. I'm really going there. Oof. Yep, there it is. Oof. This isn't the stage of Tremors itself yet. Coming up. A little longer. Oh, shit. I let down. Oh. You rest for a bit. Rest. Just about in the middle between all the way out. Supposedly all where your spine, like, your psoas is basically the spine is, they call it the horse's tail. It like shoots off in every direction at the very base of the spine there. I suppose it literally goes through the psoas, or near it, somehow they're related. And the psoas is connected to, it has to do with your upright posture. It's connected to your diaphragm. It like massages your abdominal organs. I mean, it does a lot of interesting things other than just being the big muscle in your deep sacrum. It's literally the seat of your fear and stress response. And it's fascinating. It's like this. It's a muscle that has a lot going on with it, like your diaphragm does. It's a muscle that, like your diaphragm, your psoas is like a trapdoor to your unconscious, so in your body. So next, what you do, let's see, so you find a place where you're supposed to move up a few inches. Show it's working now. So you move your knees close together just a little bit like this. You want to shake a little bit, but you gotta kind of find the right sweet spot where, like, if you're in the wrong place, you won't shake. There's no, you gotta be right in the place where your psoas is. There we go. See, lower than that, there was nothing. But here, check that out, that is not voluntary. It's weird because your muscles are doing it, so it tricks your mind, you're thinking you're doing it. So it's hard to tell if I'm like making this happen or not. I'm not trying to make anything happen. And like it comes in waves too. It's one other aspect of it. Like, oh, it stopped. I lost it. It's like you keep feeling like you lost it. You know, there's something coming back like stronger than ever, like this. It likes to shake. Flap. Every muscle in my pelvis and my legs going inwards and outwards. It starts out starts out with more of the legs. As you change positions, it goes more up. Pelvis. There's a way my back. I like adjust my pelvis to get it to move. Now I feel like my belly moving up. Now I kind of move my legs in a little bit and it starts quivering. Oh man, it does this like really strong. I can't constantly make myself shake that. Quiver, shake that hard. You know, the pelvis wants to move up and down now. That's the change. Sometimes I feel like snake up my entire torso up to my head. I honestly don't know if I'm exaggerating it in some way. It's like with breathing, sometimes you feel like you're on the razor's edge of your conscious and unconscious because it's like a reflex. It's that you also, that's part of your muscular system, something you can mess with and control. You can also like let go into it, so it's hard to tell sometimes how much you're thinking happen. Now these are all close together. Oh man, they really want to shake. Just want to surrender to my legs. Yeah, it's like they want any quick feet flat, like that. And so there's so many change positions, there's like nothing. It's hard if you're a little closer, then you're just a little apart. You gotta kind of also relax your legs too. Kind of move them in and out a little bit, kind of exploring where do this naturally, like whole body. So as a human, we're an adult, and we're learning how to, like relearning how to do this, and like this is all the tremors that we haven't been able to do since childhood. We learn not to. I saw many people do this on the ambulance, and I thought they were like just getting themselves emotionally worked up. I thought they were faking seizures, being weak. I don't know. I remember seeing it. It's one particular woman over in Elkridge, actually. I was in the EMT. Got her. Woo! It's really gone. Does that sometimes. Oh, and I feel that something goes all the way up me too. It's like whoosh, a rush, a relief, like sexual relief, but like a. I remember I had a woman in the collar, our backboard, and she started, her whole body started shaking like this. It was after a wreck, and we thought she was just being a big baby, being all histrionic, overly emotional, just well, my way at her. It's like it wants to. Alright, I think I'm good here. I want to do an example of doing this. Oh yeah, I should have stand so quickly. That's probably a bad idea. Alright, plenty of bioenergetic standing poses, but I like to do it just a simple. You'll just get the feel here. All right, so I'm going to do the bioenergetic grounding pose, which is similar to sun standing karate, where your toes are in, but not as much. Toes are in, you're a little bit, and your knees are, you kind of find the spot where they want to shake standing, and sometimes when it's deeper it doesn't want to as much. Sometimes it's like up here, doesn't even have to be. Sometimes it works with the feet. Oh, it's working the feet forward. See, this is when it travels up my body. See, but my whole chest and diaphragm are like, going forwards and backwards. I like doing this like belly dancing thing, like where they shimmer super fast with their hips. That starts to happen. It's a crazy feeling. It looks like you're dancing and your arms are kind of like swinging. You hip up to your shoulders. I mean, there's warm-up exercises where you're doing this yourself, you're making this happen, but it's such a different feeling when it's just happening. It feels like something's going through my nerves. I do this up to my back. I'm gonna play with different things, but sometimes one leg really wants to go. Almost swinging with it. Some people with severe trauma or a lot of severe, like soldiers, or some people do this a lot. They like target specific places in the body, like their face or like one arm or something, or one half their body, where they're usually contracted against some sort of stimulus chronically. I feel like a lot of this is not just from fear and trauma. I feel like a lot of this is from stress and sitting. It's like I'm trying to get out, kick myself out of that sitting so much. Whew. I'm really not making this happen. I might be exaggerating it, but it's hard to tell. It's so. balancing my shoulders. And it shimmers a bit down there. I feel kind of, my legs feel kind of confined. Yeah. It's one way to do it with your legs are up in the air. And I like, you're on your back, you put your legs up in the air. My legs started kicking like they were swimming, or just, it's like what they were trying to do. And then I do this, I'll stagger a little bit. It's like it gets so violent. I don't know. It just kind of wants to do that. I don't know if I'm helping it. I probably am helping this be more than exaggerating than what it really is, but I feel like that's good for now. Sometimes you can put weight on one leg. Yeah, there you go. That really. One leg's kind of free. Do the other leg. I might end here. Surrender to what wants to be released, what wants to express. I forget to do the breathing right. I think that's good. And then the corpse pose, basically. Down. Down the ground, corpse pose, and just kind of sense and feel. That's the end.